The NBA is back, and this season is already pure chaos in the best possible way. Upsets, breakout stars, contenders flexing, and giants stumbling. And we're barely getting started. Fans wanted drama? The league delivered it on opening week. And tonight, we're breaking down the current NBA standings, the biggest storylines, and where this season is heading. Because the 2025-2026 race is starting to take shape fast. Welcome to American Bulletin Sports. And if you want real NBA talk, not watered-down headlines, hit that subscribe button right now and join the family. This is where basketball conversations stay raw, real, and passionate. We've got a long season ahead, and you do not want to miss what's coming. Now, let's dive in. The East is already upside down from what analysts predicted. Sitting at the top in the earliest standings, we've got Chicago, Orlando, Philadelphia, Toronto, Charlotte, Milwaukee, and New York all opening their seasons with wins. And yes, let's take a second to appreciate that sentence, because nobody had Chicago, Charlotte, and Toronto starting undefeated on their bingo cards. Meanwhile, Boston, Cleveland, Miami, Atlanta, Indiana, and Brooklyn stumbled out of the gate. They're all 0-1, and fans are already panicking even though we're one game in. Every year, the opening week reminds us, predictions don't win games, execution does. But there are two early standouts in the East. Philadelphia, a young roster with fresh energy, confidence, and a chip on their shoulder. Milwaukee, battle-tested, physical, and playing with urgency out of the gate. And here's your first comment question of the night. I want to hear from real NBA minds. Which team finishes top 3 in the East this season? Drop your picks in the comments. Out west, the energy is just as wild. Golden State, Oklahoma City, and Utah all look locked in early with powerful 1-0 or 2-0 statements. Add in San Antonio, Memphis, Minnesota, and Phoenix, and the conference looks like a wall of competition waiting to explode. But the story of the West, so far? Golden State and OKC. Golden State is playing like a franchise that refuses to fade quietly into history. Veteran confidence, sharper pace, more ball movement. The dynasty DNA is still there. OKC, meanwhile, looks terrifying. Young, deep, fearless, and hungry. If they stay healthy, they are not just a playoff team, they are a real contender. On the other side, Denver, the Lakers, the Clippers, and Dallas all took early blows. Nothing fatal, but when you start 0-1 in a West this deep, the margin for error is thin right from day one. 3 things already stand out across the league. Youth movement is real. Young teams aren't waiting anymore. They're attacking. Star pressure is sky high. If your franchise guy doesn't produce, instantly the fan base wants answers. The standings will be a dogfight from day 1 to game 82. Nobody gets nights off this season, and hey, if you love breakdowns like this and you want standings updates, predictions, and deep dive storylines all season long, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We're just getting warmed up. From rookies exploding onto the scene, to unexpected wins shaking up the board, this season already feels different. Teams are not easing into anything. The tone has been set. Everybody wants the crown, and we're about to find out who actually deserves it. The early days of this NBA season have already delivered memorable storylines, emotional sparks, and unforgettable moments that are shaping the narrative of 2025 to 2026. Fans wanted fireworks, and the league wasted no time. From thrilling finishes in packed arenas to young stars exploding onto the scene, there is electricity in the air that feels different from past seasons. You can sense it in the crowds, in the commentary, and in the confidence of players who know this year will demand more heart, more urgency, and more fight than ever before. Across both conferences, a wave of breakout performances has put the league on notice. Explosive guard play, new offensive wrinkles, surprising defensive discipline, and a hunger to prove something have defined the opening stretch. You can feel the momentum building in cities where fans are starving for relevance. and you can feel the pressure mounting in markets where winning is not a request, but an obligation. One of the most exciting parts of this season so far has been the surge of young talent refusing to wait their turn. Players who were supposed to be projects or future pieces are stepping onto the floor and demanding respect. It's fast, it's fearless, it's fun, and it's shaking up expectations all over the league. But the season hasn't been kind to everyone. A few supposed contenders look shaky, and several fan bases are already restless. The early losses from teams with championship expectations have created a quiet tension in the locker rooms of veteran squads. The West in particular feels like a powder keg. Teams like Denver, the Lakers, Dallas, and the Clippers did not expect to stumble immediately. And while it's early, the Western Conference offers no mercy. In a field this stacked, even a slow start feels dangerous. The message is clear. In this year's West, there is absolutely no room for coasting, not even in Week 1. Meanwhile, the East is producing a different kind of drama. Philadelphia's energy has shifted, Milwaukee looks locked in, and teams like New York and Chicago are playing with a level of hunger that fans have been praying to see for years. Even Orlando, a young team still building its identity, has entered the season like a squad tired of being overlooked. There's a seriousness in the Eastern Conference, a tone that suggests this year will not follow the usual script. For the first time in a while, the East doesn't feel top-heavy. It feels competitive. It feels unpredictable. And if this continues, the playoff race could be the most chaotic we've seen in years. Through all of this, fans everywhere are debating the same question. Is this the year someone new breaks through? That question is one I want the viewers to answer as well. Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us which team, in your eyes, has the best chance to shock the league this season. Is it a sleeper in the East, a rising force in the West, or one of the usual giants trying to reclaim or defend their place on top? Let your voice be heard, because this season already feels like one the fans will shape as much as the players. As emotions rise and surprises stack up, it becomes impossible to ignore another theme: the heart-stopping, crowd-lifting, highlight reel moments that remind us why we watch this sport in the first place. We've seen clutch shooting in crunch time, impossible finishes at the rim, incredible rookie poise, and veteran players refusing to surrender the spotlight. It has been passion, it has been chaos, and it has been beautiful basketball. These nights, these moments, these reactions that concern, this is why the NBA is global. This is why fans live and breathe for it. And before we look ahead to where this season might be going, I want to pause and speak directly to everyone watching. If you're loving this season already, and you want deeper breakdowns, weekly standings updates, bold predictions, and true basketball storytelling, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our community. This channel is built for fans who care about the game. Not just the box score, not just the headline, but the story, the emotion, the rise and the fall that makes every season unforgettable. Subscribe now, because we are only getting started. Right now, with momentum shifting in both conferences, fans and analysts are already beginning to speculate about which teams have the DNA to survive an 82-game war. Some teams will fade, some will rise, some will break through, and some, no matter how much talent they have, will collapse under the weight of their own expectations. But that is the beauty of the NBA season. It's long, it's demanding. It exposes the weak and rewards the relentless. And only the mentally tough make it to June. As the story of this season continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the best is yet to come. The early flashes are just the opening chords to a much bigger symphony. And by the time we reach the halfway point, everything we think we know right now might be shattered. That is the thrill. That is the unpredictability. That is the magic of the NBA. As the first chapter of this NBA season unfolds, one question sits at the center of every debate, every sports segment, every barbershop argument, and every late-night group chat: who will rise above the noise when it matters most? The standings tell part of the story, the highlights tell another. But the real truth lives in consistency, leadership, health, and hunger. And when you look closely at the landscape, Several names are already emerging in the early conversation for individual greatness. The MVP race, as always, will become a war of narratives. The league is filled with stars who can score, but the award will go to the one who can elevate, lead, and define their team's identity night after night. Veterans will push to maintain their thrones, but the young storm is coming fast. If the season continues on its current emotional tempo, the MVP race could become one of the most dramatic in recent memory. On the other end of the awards spectrum, the Rookie of the Year spotlight is getting brighter by the day. Young players are not easing into the league. They are running straight into the fire. With fearless scoring, confident playmaking, and poise beyond their years, this rookie class has injected adrenaline into the season. The frontrunners are already treating every game like a statement. And in a league where confidence is currency, the rookies who refuse to defer will rise the fastest. Meanwhile, the Defensive Player of the Year battle looks equally intense. With offensive numbers exploding across the league, teams are desperately searching for players who can anchor a defense, stop runs, and bring late-game composure when everything feels like chaos. The race is wide open, and the intensity so far suggests defense might matter more this season than it has in the last 5 years. All of this builds toward the biggest question of them all. Who will survive the marathon and earn the right to chase a championship in June? The Western Conference is a battlefield, crowded with hungry contenders and dangerous spoilers. The Eastern Conference is unpredictable, filled with storylines, resurging contenders, and youthful momentum that refuses to wait. After studying the early rhythm of this season, the strongest playoff energy in the West comes from teams that balance star power with chemistry, while in the East, the mental toughness of certain rosters stands out more than anything on paper. And here is where the hybrid prediction begins to take shape. Part logic, part instinct. If the trajectory holds, the postseason could collide into a thunderous finish with a Western Conference team that has depth, speed, and composure meeting an Eastern Conference power that thrives on execution and late-game poise. And though anything can happen, one matchup feels destined to spark the basketball world if the momentum continues on its current path. There is a real chance that we will see a Western Conference juggernaut face off against a re-energized Eastern contender on the biggest stage. And if that happens, if youth, hunger, and confidence meet discipline, experience, and execution, we might witness a finals that becomes an instant classic. Consider this the moment where the prediction goes on record. A new contender from the East has the chance to shock the league and push for the crown, while a Western powerhouse will do everything in its DNA to stop them. And when all is said and done, a bold finals pick becomes unavoidable. The path is brutal, and the league is too deep for guarantees. But if one team from the East rises the way they've hinted early, do not be surprised if the final battle ends with a new champion, one that very few fans expected before opening night. As the action continues, the only thing more intense than the battle on the court is the conversation around it. And I want you, the viewers, to be part of that conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell us, who is your early MVP and which team do you believe is built for June? Your voice matters. Your perspective matters. And trust me, the debates this season are going to be wild. So make sure you speak up, because we'll be reading and responding throughout the journey. Before we close, there is one final message that needs to be said. If you are enjoying these deep dive breakdowns, the energy, the storytelling, the predictions, and the passion, then now is the time to subscribe. This is your reminder and your invitation to join a community of fans who watch the game with heart. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and ride with us all season. We will be here through every upset, every buzzer beater, every shift in the standings, and every playoff twist that nobody sees coming. We are building something here, not just a channel, but a home for fans who love this game as much as we do. Because this season is going to test teams, test stars, test legacies, and test belief. There will be heartbreak. There will be heroes. There will be collapse, controversy, and crowning moments that take your breath away. And through it all, the standings you see today will evolve into a story none of us can fully predict. That is the beauty of the NBA. That is why we watch. And that is why this season already feels special. The journey has begun, and the ending has yet to be written. Thank you for tuning in to American Bulletin Sports. Stay locked in, stay passionate, and stay loud. The season is young, the energy is real, and the best basketball is still ahead. We will see you in the next report. And until then, keep the conversation going, keep believing in your squad, and enjoy every moment of this incredible season.